All right, I'm rolling, brother. All right. Thanks, everyone, for checking out the Rich Celenza show. I got my co-host again over here. He tries to keep working his way into my podcast now.
I am.
Robert Benenati with 365 Realty. And I think this is going to be a good one because we went and met for lunch. Then we went for Starbucks. And I says, we got to get this on my podcast. Record. Yeah. So what we're going to talk about today is things that we've gone through regarding online marketing. We're going to come at it from two different perspectives. He owns a business, a real estate company in Orlando, Florida. And I'm kind of coming at it from an artist who was making films, writing books. Now I have a program. And we both have YouTube channels and podcasts. But what I want to get into with him is what he's kind of gone through from a business perspective. Because mine's going to be more personal on what I've gone through. So give me an idea kind of the strengths and weaknesses that you found regarding this online pitch, marketing, whatever.
So basically, we're talking about getting hit up, contacted by so many different marketing companies promising or pitching that their company can help us capture more leads,
more notoriety, more exposure.
Right.
This goes for social media. This, not only social media, just even everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. For
everywhere.
Whatever business you're in.
Yeah.
And again, being in the real estate side, you know, their approach to me every time they hit me, and usually on LinkedIn, and I think this is one of the reasons why it's not my favorite platform.
Mm-hmm.
It's because as soon as you befriend someone or connect basically with them, they're pitching right away.
Yeah.
I saw your profile. It's interesting. I'm intrigued. I think my company can help your company.
We just read one of mine.
Yeah.
I get like 30, 35, literally a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it could be overwhelming receiving so many of them.
Yep.
Number one. Number two, it gets to a point where you look at their pitch and it's the same pitch over and over again.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's either a monthly subscription or a monthly, or what do you think? Or a one-time shot, or
they have different plans,
right,
different pricing, different plans, but it's, you know, X amount of leads, or we can do this for you, or that, or we can scale your business, or we can. It's always something, right? It
usually starts with websites, though. A lot of times, you ever notice that they try to get you to revamp your website and pay them to do it.
Yeah, and SEO, you need SEO. We could get you on the first page. First page of what?
Yeah,
you're not competing with the monsters on first page of anything. I
mean,
mean,
that right.
Google, especially in real estate, you're not knocking off the first list. Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, you're gonna be, you know.
And then if they want you to spend a tremendous amount of money, you'll never get it in return. Let's call it for what it is. A lot of times, so it's unrealistic at times. So
that's a battle I'm not willing to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talk about your leads. We talk about this all the time. You getting people that are constantly pitching you, they can get you all these leads through social media, and you find a lot of it to be bullshit. You do better independently.
I do, because I think I know what I invest in, and I know what my return is based on someone telling me, well, we could get you X amount of appointments or an X amount of leads per month, or your zip code, or, you know, whatever the case is. And
right.
I just find it not to be true most of the time.
Right.
I'm not saying there are not companies out there
yeah.
that do deliver and actually come in at what they say they were going to do.
Yeah, I mean, we're not here to bum rap every online marketing company.
That's
ridiculous.
That's not the point.
That is not the point here. But
I get hit a lot with that they're going to give me. So I had this one guy reach out to me. I think it was through Facebook. So he's requesting my friendship. I accept, and then he pitches, right?
Yeah.
And he's telling me all this great thing he's going to do. Yep. So I basically turned it around this time.
Yeah.
I said, all right, let's do this. Give me a trial.
Yep.
I'll test it. I'll make those phone calls or follow up with those leads or whatever it is. If I get X amount out of it, and I can see it's good, then you get paid, right? And he was like, well, no, because, you know, it's my time. Yeah, it's my money.
Right.
And my time.
Absolutely. Prove your worth.
That's
my theory.
That's my theory, right?
With
that's,
a lot of
that's,
this.
Yeah. And I think that's why a lot of companies, especially young companies owned by younger people, they come in and they pitch you and they were like, okay, so for $500 a month, or $500 a month, I'm going to do your social media and I'm going to do one post and one this and one that and one the other. Okay, so first of all, I know you cannot live off of $500 a month.
Right.
So that means you need at least 10 clients at $500 to make $5,000 a month.
Right.
Okay. So my issue is, most likely you will not deliver to all 10 of us. Your quality of deliverance is not going to be equal.
Right.
Right. And what happens is, because they do not push enough, there is no results.
Yeah.
When there's no results, you're going to lose from those 10 clients. You're going to lose maybe half of them.
Yeah.
So what happens? You have to go get another 5.
Yeah.
So you're concentrating on building your business, then concentrating on helping the business that you're working with currently.
Right.
I think I would approach it differently if I go into marketing.
So would I.
I would come into you, Rich, and say, okay, Rich, this is what I'm going to do. Give me 30 days. I'm going to prove to you what I could deliver,
right?
What I could do for you, and only for you.
Yeah.
And at the end of that, we're going to sit down and work a number.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not going to be $500, right? It's not going to be $500 a month, but it's going to pay for itself. That's what I need to find.
Okay.
Is if my fee is going to pay itself.
Yeah.
With the outcome.
And the fees that you're going to be paying on, if you want to do Facebook ads or any other marketing, that they're going to also, tell you to spend on.
So in my industry, if I do real estate and I have, let's say I do 2-3 sales a month.
Yeah.
Your marketing cannot sustain my 2 or 3 sales. Yeah. You have to provide an extra sale.
Right.
So one extra home that you bring to me that I wouldn't have had before.
Sure.
Should pay for your salary.
Absolutely.
And the expenses.
Yeah. Well,
and have some left over.
Right. You're looking at it as a partner, right?
Basically.
To a certain degree.
Right?
Yeah, because if you make money.
They make money.
Absolutely. That's what I talk about all the time.
And the thing is that you could grow from there.
Yep.
Because now if you say, okay, so I'm getting you that extra deal a month that's coming through my services. Right? And 2 months later or 3 months later, now you're bringing me 2 solid deals a month. Right?
Yeah.
Your cost is still the same to me, right? Down the future, I don't know, down the road, 6 months later, a year later, you're building 3 to 4 extra leads. Now you could come to me and sit down and say, okay, Robert, now it's not, $2,500 a month or $3,000 a month because it was paying for itself. I'm showing you that I could do more for you. As a business owner, I would be stupid not to increase the pay.
Sure. Because
if he walks, I'm losing that extra 2-3 deals, and it's paying itself. So I cannot be greedy and say, well, I'm paying him for his work, and I'm going to keep the extra 2 deals that he's, bringing to the table. Yeah. He should get paid for it.
Yeah, of course.
Because if not, he's going to end up going now he's got value. Now as a company, as a marketing company, he just built value for himself.
Right.
So I'm not paying for time. I'm paying for value.
Yeah.
To have them on board.
Yeah, I think the one thing people with online marketing have to look at it as, so take for instance me with books, hypothetically, or my program. I don't care if it's my podcast or whatever the case may be. If I'm going to hire you, for one, it's got to pay for itself like we just discussed. I don't want noise and nonsense. A lot of people, I think, get caught up, especially if they've never had exposure online, so they may hire someone to online market, and all of a sudden they're getting all these likes. They're posting all these different things. They're making all these contacts. But at the end of the day, what did I make compared to what did I spend? That's what it all comes down to. And I don't think a lot of people realize this, especially artists. I think, like we were just discussing LinkedIn, when someone hits me up and says they can do all these things for me, the first thing I tell them is, listen, here's the deal. I'm not paying you any money up front. Show me what you can do, because if you can sell my books, hypothetically, sell my program, whatever I want to sell, and you show me numbers, I'll pay you for it. Right? I will. If you want to grow with me, I'm going to grow with you.
Right.
But if you don't show me any sales, what the hell do I need you for? and they usually don't even respond. I also tell them I don't want any 30-day back bullshit, because a lot of them will say, no, pay us up front. It's either going to be $250 to $350, just say I'm using for an example, a month. Some are high end, $4,000 or $5,000 a month. Again, and they'll say, hey, you get a money back return and whatever their pitch is. I don't even want to hear it anymore. It's all bullshit. No. All I want to see, if you're going to do something for me, as far as sales go, I'm not talking
the results.
Is the results. If you can prove it, it's that simple. But again, I think people get caught up in...
They're pitching you're going to get X amount of followers and X amount of likes. Okay, is that translating to money? Will they buy from me? No, maybe not, right? So at the end of the day, it's not the following. It's not the likes. It's really what I could get out of it. It needs to... I stand by this. It needs to pay for itself.
100%.
And I'm looking at it from a business perspective. You know,
and it's not to talk about breaking even, because you're losing. You don't realize all the time when you use an online marketing person, they're up your ass constantly. They want you to constantly be taking, say, new photos, giving them new content, giving them all this information for them to share, which is great. But again, you're not getting paid for that either. They have to realize, right? No one's paying you for that. Not saying you, but it's your company. You're paying them. They're grabbing it and they're sharing it or doing whatever they're doing with it. At the end of the day, again,
I'm not too opposed to that, because it's pretty much what I'm doing anyway now. Let's say, you know, I have a listing, or what I do, I pick up the phone, do a selfie, say something, do a video, post it, not expecting much back from it, right? So if I have a company saying, listen, the only thing is, and this is a partnership, I'll prove to you what I could do, but I need also for you to provide pictures and photos and videos and let me do the behind the scenes work, then that's a partnership.
That is. I'm not saying it isn't.
I'm not opposed to that.
What I think happens with me is I'm so gung-ho, I'm out working them with content. I'm kind of just, they're coming at me. They'll be like, Rich, I need this, and I'll blast them. I'm faster a lot of times than they are, and I expect results quicker, or I at least expect some type of, how do I say this? I'm full throttle, and I think a lot of people, when they hire an online marketer,
they're slower than you are?
I think so. No. And I've done so much.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, and I've done so many different things. After doing movies, books, programs, all my different things, I find myself teaching them more than they're teaching me or helping me. And they also, I think a lot of times, want to use me to make contacts through me. So instead of me getting...
I relate to that too.
Yeah, more out of it. Yeah, they're like, oh, Rich, can you... before you know it, I'm giving them my contact, who I use for a website. I'm giving my graphic artist. I'm giving them, connections that I've had all over, the world, for that matter. And it almost becomes like they're pitching, they're almost using me as a platform to get more business. And I'm not expecting out of that anything from that. But I don't see them.
That wasn't the original arrangement.
And they'll be saying, hey, I'll get hit up by a lot of people. Hey, do you use this person? Do you use this person? I'm like, yeah, I'm using that person, but I'm not even getting what I want out of them. I wouldn't necessarily vouch for them. But as soon as you connect or start working with them, sometimes, like I said, it's a maneuver, and people got to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
And that goes for, listen, we're not here to bum rap or destroy online marketing. We're cool with it, but you got to take an honest approach in being realistic, what you're really getting out of it. And I don't think a lot of people do. They get burned a lot.
Listen, the good ones out there are going to charge good money, right?
Yeah.
And the problem is that when you're starting off a business, I get it. It's hard to dish out, $3-4 a month for something, still not knowing what you're going to get out of it. But most likely from companies that could prove themselves, that they have the history, that they can prove, then you might have to set a budget aside and say, okay, for the next 3 months, at least minimum 3 months, you have to give marketing companies time. Okay.
Yes.
You can't expect
in
to
30
put
days.
In 2 weeks to get something. If you do, great, but that's not realistic. You have, for a company to, and see if a marketing works, you have to give it at least minimum 3 months. Right. Yeah. And you have to set the budget, especially for a company like that. I'm more, I'm talking more about the smaller, younger companies that want to charge just $500, $700 a month, and they're going to do, this, that, and they overpromise. Just don't promise me anything. Then tell me, listen, pay me $500 for my time, and I'm going to try my best to do, A, B, and C.
Yeah. Take an honest approach.
Yeah. Tell me that, and I will say, okay, I'm paying you for time, not value, because you're not bringing value to me.
Yeah.
What you're bringing is you're putting in your time together with me, and I'm paying for it. And if I can afford that, then okay. But don't tell me that what you're going to do for $500 a month is going to get me, something that's not realistic. That's the part I have issues with.
Yeah, and just be aware, because a lot of people go to Craigslist, Upwork, many other places, and I think a lot of times because it's so cheap sometimes, even if you do an hourly wage for them, or you can do obviously a salary type thing with them, I would do your research. Always ask them specifically, who have you done work for? Mm-hmm. And reach out to those people, because I do it all the time, and I'll ask them straight up.
I want to see you.
I got to hear who you work for, and I hit them up personally and say, how did they work out for you? I mean, not just one or two. I'm talking 4 or 5, and also make sure they deal with the type of business that you deal with, because a lot of these people.
That's the other thing. The type of industry you're in.
Yeah, they got to know it.
They have to know a little bit about it.
Exactly.
Because if not, they're just in the blind here.
Yeah.
In the dark. But the other thing I want to touch on that you just mentioned is, if they're pitching, it depends on your business. If they're pitching that you're going to get more followers, more views, and more likes, that will depend a lot on the type of company you have. So for me, as real estate, that doesn't do anything for me.
Right.
I need sales. I need people to call me and say, listen, I'm looking to buy a house or sell a house, right? Now, for someone that wants to use their platform, their Instagram account, for example, and want to monetize it by putting ads, then, of course, they need numbers.
Yes.
That makes sense for them, right? Yeah. So if you're an influencer, a blogger, or something like that,
that all means a lot.
Of course.
No matter what anybody says.
Then you have the numbers, right?
But they have to be authentic. You can get burned by them.
And that's where I'm going next is now they'll tell you, we'll increase your following. How? Organically, or I'm paying you $500 and you're going to take $50 from that $500 and go purchase 5,000 followers.
Yeah, from Fiverr, from some guy, and pay them $20.
From whatever, right? And then I'm thinking, okay, he's doing his work, right?
Yep.
And this is just not good following. And it's going to hurt your brand. It's going to hurt your account versus help you. So,
yeah, I went through that 2 different ways. I went through that with Twitter. Someone came to me and said, Rich, I'll get you 10, 20,000 people on Twitter. I'm like, okay, what is that? It's just a numbers game, but how can you do that? That's a con to me. Like, it doesn't, well, at least it'll get you to a certain point where you look a certain. I'm like, if that's fake to me, even if you say you reached out to all these people, which they're not even real, but say, like, they're not going to vouch for me, or I don't even know who these people are. But I went through this when I started YouTube. Somebody referred somebody and said, Rich, I have somebody that can get you a tremendous amount of views on your YouTube. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, give me a chance at doing it and blah, blah, blah. I said, are they people watching this? I don't know, but I'm, whatever. So I reached out to this person just through the internet, and they're like, hey, yeah, we can get you a lot of views. In 3 days, he's literally said $30, we'll get you 1,000 views. I said, are you kidding me? So I hit it up. I got 1,100. So I paid him. And I said, I'm not going to pay anymore. He goes, okay, what other videos you want? I said, just give me some time. I want to see how this, plays out. I waited a month. How many more views I got?
None.
0.
Yeah.
So basically, I don't even know if anybody viewed it. What is the sense of me? I'm creating content because I want to, show people what I'm doing.
What's your gain? What's your benefit?
I guess maybe if you got to have, maybe if I want, I just think be very aware of being conned, because I kind of knew this from Twitter, and I've known this in the past, but somebody else will be like, oh my God, I got 1,100, and just keep paying somebody.
Yeah, because it's like ego, or you're being very naive, not knowing, and it makes you feel good. Oh, I got 1,000 views or X amount of views. Okay, what does that do for you?
How's this too? And people don't look at this. I have 1,100 views on this. Not one like, not one comment. How can that even be? Like, if I go to someone's video and I seen they had 2,000 or 3,000, I'm going to be like, this is fake.
Yeah.
I'm going to know it. So anyways, there's so many things to be aware of. And do not get tricked. Don't think too, and I'm going to wrap it up with this. I was just telling Robert, sometimes you're building relationships with people and you don't even know, good or bad, don't be conned online, because I think a lot more than ever, Could be LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever. People are reaching out to you, and it seems authentic. And you go back and forth for a little bit, maybe a month or two go by, and before you know it, they start pitching you something, and you actually thought they were, a good kind of person or whatever, a good contact. And then before you know it, it kind of turns very quickly into something else that may not be authentic.
Yeah, they break the ice at the beginning and then catch you at the end.
I'm all about helping people, making connections. I always talk about karma networking, but be very careful with who you hire online, especially if you don't know them or you don't know anybody else that knows them or nobody referred you to them. Mm-hmm. So I think we'll wrap it up there, right?
That's it.
So all right, brother. You can check out Robert's podcast too, Real Business. And then he's obviously has 365 Realty. He's in Dr. Phillips. And I'm all over the place, whatever. If you found me here, I'm sure you could find me somewhere else too. So, yeah. All right. Take care, and we wish you nothing but the best.